The registry is this great mystery inside of every computer. But if you think about it for a minute, it really makes a lot of sense. If you go back a million years, or at least back to like versions of Windows like Windows 95, everything you did within Windows was configured through some form of text file, usually with the extension INI. In fact, Linux users are like, well, yeah, that's how everything works, Mike. And there's nothing wrong with using all these different initialization files to configure things, but Microsoft felt a long time ago that life would be a lot easier if instead of using a gazillion text files that were all over the place, if we had one common storage area. That common storage area is the registry. The registry is not a text file, it's a database. And you have to have a special reader to be able to read, edit, or do anything you want to this particular database. But the important thing to appreciate with the registry is that pretty much everything that is Windows is in the registry somewhere. Registries can be massive files depending on how much stuff you have loaded in there. And pretty much anytime you go to Control Panel, change a screensaver, add a piece of software, anything you do, one of the main things you're doing is updating the registry. So we're messing with the registry all the time. However, there are times where you're going to have to go into the registry manually. Now, the A+ does not expect you to become an expert at registry manipulation. It does expect you that if there is a problem where the registry has to be accessed manually, that you understand it well enough, so if somebody's telling you to put in some bizarre command or something like that, that you can open the registry, do it the right way, create a backup, and make it work. So, let's dive into the registry. So, to get to the registry, all we need to do is type in regedit, that's regedit. And this is actually the registry editor itself. Remember, the registry is not a text file. It's just like you need Microsoft Word to edit a Word document. It's its own particular format, and you have to use a registry editor. Now, there's a long shot, but there used to be another program called regedit32. You see how I've got it typed there? regedit32. And back in the old days, there were actually two different ways to run it. So you can either type in regedit or regedit32, and either one of these will get you to the registry editor. The big thing you need to keep in mind with the registry editor is that you've got these 5 root keys, okay? HKey class's root is basically defines everything that is your computer, every type of file, every type of data structure. It's monstrous. And it's not a place we have to go to very often, but that's what it handles. HKey current user is all the information about the currently logged in user. So everything from my screensaver to what my background looks like, anything that I might have set up, that's going to be showing up here under HKey current user. HKey local machine is information about this particular computer. What software is installed, what hardware is installed, how the security is set up. Pretty much everything that is this computer is under HKey local machine. Now, HKey users is nothing more than a list of all the different accounts that are currently on this computer. They're kind of encoded, and one of these is actually me right up here in HKey current user. So if I were to break one of these down, you can actually see it looks similar to what you're seeing in HKey current user, because it just grabs one of these and makes that HKey current user. And the HKey current config is nothing more than the current setup of the system. And that's like any particular issues with software or hardware to be set up at any given moment. Okay, make sure you know these 5 root keys for the A+ exam. Now, the one thing we like to do more than anything else with the registry is that we will make subtle changes. A lot of times it's not changes that we actually understand, but it's because someone tells us to. But now here's a very famous one. I'm going to march you through it. You go to HKey local machine, then you go to software, then you go to Microsoft, then you go down to Windows, and then you go to current version. And underneath here are 2 little settings that are really kind of famous. It's called Run and Run Once. Run is the standard place for most auto-starting programs to appear. So if you ever want to actually take something offline, you would actually go to this particular location and you could delete it. Now, the other thing I want to show you, and that's on the A+, is that sometimes you do have to edit the registry. So one really important thing we always do before we edit the registry is we make a backup. So right now you'll see that I've got this run highlighted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export just this piece. I'm just going to call it Fred. And what I've done is I've taken just this one piece of the registry and I've got a backup copy of it. So if I want to delete anything out of here, so here I just can arbitrarily delete a couple of things. And so I've deleted two things that auto start. Now if I were to suddenly discover that, oh, I kind of wanted those, if I wanted to bring them back, all I would need to do is I can right click and then I can click on merge. You see that? So anytime I make a backup, oh, by the way, all backups have the last name REG, and I can bring it all back just by hitting merge. Ta-da! There they are. So that's the big stuff to remember about a registry. CompTIA does not expect you to become a registry genius. Nobody knows the entire registry. But it does expect you to know how to access a registry, how to make modifications to registry settings, how to export, and how to recover exports in case you need them. That's about it.